The tip slip lay on the table like an insult, a bold zero circled with careless ink, and for a moment it felt heavier than the plates Daniel Reyes had carried all morning. The restaurant was bright with late-morning sunlight, the kind that made the polished windows glow and revealed every smudge on the glass, and Daniel stood there in his worn apron feeling smaller than the room. He was a single father working the day shift, counting hours and coins, and the man who had just left, the billionaire everyone recognized, had walked out with a calm smile, leaving behind nothing but silence and that empty promise of gratitude. Before you go any further, if you believe kindness deserves second chances and that small moments can change lives, please like this video, comment your thoughts, share it with someone who needs hope, and subscribe to the channel Kindness Hub. Daniel's day had begun before sunrise, as it always did, with packing lunches and tying shoelaces for his 8-year-old son Mateo, whose asthma meant mornings were careful and slow. By the time Daniel arrived at the diner, daylight had fully claimed the sky, spilling into the narrow street and filling the place with warmth. He worked with steady hands, refilling coffee, wiping counters, smiling when he could. The billionaire had come in alone, wearing a simple jacket that did not match the rumors attached to his name, and ordered a quiet meal. Daniel served him the same way he served everyone, with patience and respect, unaware of the storm that would follow. When the man left, the zero tip felt like a judgment on Daniel's worth, a reminder that effort did not always meet reward. Bills crowded Daniel's thoughts as he cleared the table. Rent was due in 2 days, Mateo's inhaler was nearly empty, and the bus pass needed renewing. Daytime traffic hummed outside, a reminder that the world kept moving even when he felt stuck. He stacked the plates carefully, resisting the urge to rush, because rushing led to mistakes and mistakes led to reprimands. As he lifted the final plate, something caught his eye, a corner of paper peeking out from beneath the porcelain. At first he thought it was a receipt forgotten by the customer, but curiosity tugged at him, and he slid it free. The note was folded once, neat and deliberate, its weight unexpected. Daniel unfolded it slowly, sunlight pooling on the table as he read. The words were simple, written in firm handwriting, and they spoke of observation rather than apology. The writer had noticed Daniel's careful service, the way he checked on other tables even when busy, the quiet way he wiped a spill near a child without making a scene. The note explained that the zero tip was not cruelty but a test, a strange one, meant to see whether Daniel's kindness depended on reward. At the bottom was an address and a time, an invitation to come later that afternoon, along with a promise that the real tip was hidden in trust. Daniel's heart thudded as he folded the note back into his pocket. Skepticism wrestled with hope, and both felt dangerous. He had been disappointed before by promises that went nowhere. Yet something about the note's calm certainty lingered. He finished his shift with a fog in his mind, sunlight shifting across the floor as hours passed. When the manager dismissed him, Daniel stepped outside into the bright afternoon, the city alive and loud, and weighed his options. Mateo would be at school until late, giving him just enough time to take a risk. The address led to a modest office building bathed in daylight, glass reflecting the sky. Inside, the air was cool and quiet. Daniel waited, hands clasped, until the billionaire emerged, not with fanfare but with the same understated presence as before. What followed was not a conversation of grand speeches but an exchange of understanding, a recognition that character shows itself when no one is watching. The man explained his belief that money should follow integrity, not buy it, and that he invested in people as much as ventures. He offered Daniel a chance at stability, a role in a new hospitality project focused on fair wages and family-friendly schedules, and a check that covered the overdue rent and Mateo's medical needs, dated that very day. Daniel walked out into the afternoon stunned, sunlight sharper than before, the world suddenly larger. He picked up Mateo from school with a lightness he had not felt in years, the boy's laughter bright against the blue sky. Days turned into weeks, and Daniel's life shifted steadily, not magically but meaningfully. He learned new skills, met others who believed work could be humane, and watched Mateo breathe easier, literally and figuratively. The diner still stood where it always had, sunlight still streaming through its windows, but Daniel's place in the world had changed. If this story has touched your heart, if it reminded you that unseen goodness matters and that kindness can ripple forward in daylight and shadow alike, please engage with this video now and let your support help stories like this reach more people. Before we reach the final moment, a special request to comment below with a word or story of kindness you have witnessed, because your voice can inspire someone else today. Months later, Daniel returned to the diner during a bright morning, not to work but to eat with Mateo, gratitude grounding him. He left a generous tip, not as repayment but as a promise to keep the chain unbroken. The sunlight caught the table as they stood to leave, and Daniel smiled, knowing that sometimes the smallest notes carry the greatest weight, and that a zero can still hold infinite hope.